Hello and welcome to another video from Midas Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today, well, yeah, we're looking at something that's very old again and now very, very rare, especially in the condition of this particular item. We are looking at the 1968 release by Century 21 Publishing from their Gerry Andersons series of activity books, publications. And this particular one we're looking at today is of Joe 90, and this is the front of the book in front of us, and it says Gerry Andersons Joe 90 as seen on television, and this is the painting book. For those of you that follow Gerry Anderson television series, you'll know that Joe 90 was one of the series that was developed by Gerry and Sylvia Anderson. It was created in 1968. And it aired on television between September 68 and April 69, which was its initial run. They only produced one season or one series, and there was 30 episodes in the season, and each episode ran for 25 minutes. But basically, it was it follows the exploits of a 9-year-old boy who's named Joe McClane, and he becomes a spy for the World Intelligence Network, and that's after his father, or his adoptive father, invents a device which is capable of recording brain patterns from somebody and implanting them into another human brain, that machine was called the Big Rat. And basically Joe seemed to be susceptible to that, and he was pretty much one of the only few people that could have the brainwaves implanted into him. So he was a special agent, and he worked for Wynn, and they called him the most special agent because he was only a 9-year-old boy. But with the brain transfer from the Big Rat, he could be anybody with knowledge from pretty much anybody. So that's basically what the series was all about. But this we're looking at today is obviously of the painting book, which was all based on that whole entire television series. Okay, so that's the front cover. Let's turn it over and see what we've got on the back. And on the back is exactly the same as what's on the front, so nothing really to worry about. So you've got Gerry Andersons, Joe 90, Century 21 book, painting book J6. So that's the 6th book in the series that was produced from Joe 90. And you can see an image of Joe as he's just coming out of the Big Rat, or going into the Big Rat. He's sitting on his chair, and that lifts him either in or out of the Big Rat. Okay, so that's the covers. Let's turn the book back over, open it up, and let's have a look at what we've got inside. Okay, so I have opened the book, and this is the first page. So the first page, you can see the McClane cottage, and it's the Culver Bay cottage in Dorset, and it's got Joe 90 painting book, and it's got the price of 2 and 6, 2 shillings and sixpence at the bottom right hand corner, and it's Culver Bay Cottage, Dorset, home of Professor Ian McClane and his son Joe. So that is the first one. Now, there is a story that runs along with these pictures for you to colour or paint. It is a painting book, so they do say painting. But the story runs along the bottom of the page. So it says, McClane and Joe prepare to leave the cottage. Mac and Joe enter the garage that houses the professor's flying car. And he's got speech bubbles in the picture here. It says, I'm sure it's great of you to take me to the circus, Dad. It sure is great of you to take me to the circus, Dad. Come along then, Joe. It's time to leave. And then the story progresses. They board the car and zoom off at 150 miles an hour. Gaining speed, the car lifts off into the air. It flies low over the beautiful Dorset countryside. Within 15 minutes, they land at the circus ground. The professor steers into the car park. Mac and son enter the big top, and they have ringside seats. The show begins. The first act is the Liberty Horses. Next come the elephants. Joe and Mac watch as the huge animals run through a series of tricks, and so on. So you get the gist. There's a story running along, and all these colours, all these pictures, I should say, are there for you to colour and paint, or paint, or what have you. It is, I mean, well, it's up to you what you do with them. The show ends in a tumult of applause for the Rios having enjoyed themselves completely. Mac and Joe fly home. The car comes into land at Colville Bay Cottage. It is late evening and Joe goes straight to bed. Next morning, rescue Moscow, capital city of the USSR. The square is a hive of activity as a touring circus cavalcade sweeps into the centre, and within minutes the circus begins to take shape as the plastic glass dome, big top, is erected, and so on. So it's all about the circus goes to Moscow, and I just think there's events that go on that require the assistance of Joe. So moments later the figure is silently scaling the building like a human fly. He swings on the flagpole to adjust the equipment and halt and identify yourself, but he is spotted by a guard. The figure reaches into the top of his boot and quickly draws a knife. He lurches violently, balanced only by his legs, and throws a knife at the guard. Before the soldier can fire, the knife flashes towards him, and so on. So then he's going and he's taking pictures of obviously secret information, and then there's a call. He sees the papers have been ransacked and immediately calls WIN headquarters Moscow, WIN HQ London, and it's time for an assignment for none other than Joe 90. So he goes to see Sam Loover goes over to see Professor McLean with a recording of brainwaves, which are then pumped into Joe's head, and off he goes looking for the culprit. Goes to the circus and so on, and he's a trapeze artist. So he's doing all these specifically good movements. And he says Joe's returns to Gary and tells Sam what he has discovered. They devise a plan, and so on. So it's a whole story. It's almost like a comic strip story, if you like, but in full A4 size pages for you to paint and colour and bring them to life yourself. And it runs right through until they apprehend the criminal, and then a karate chop. Brunter begins to weaken. Seconds later, Sam Loover and Swedish police officers appear, and the spy is caught. And there we go. And it's Brunter's out of the way. Joe hands Sam the microfilm and the evidence that Brunter is guilty. And it's got 1968, Century 21 Publishing Limited, all rights reserved throughout the world, published by Century 21 Publishing Limited, 167 Fleet Street, London, EC4, distributed by Century 21 Organisation, Century 21 House, Maze Court, London, WC2, and it's printed in Spain. Okay, so that is the Joe 90 painting book. So how well did these books do back in 1968? Well, as with all the activity books that were based on the Andersons programs, they all done remarkably well. If you think about back in the 1960s, there was no such thing as video recorders, no such thing as streaming or internet or anything like that. So if you missed your television program, it was tough. You know, you might get to see it if they'd done reruns. You might not. You might be waiting for years to see the program that you missed. And unfortunately, that's how it was. It's not like today. If you miss a program, you just go online and stream it and watch it. So you can never really miss anything now. But back in the day, it was a very different story. But in order to keep your program alive and fresh in the minds of the fans, rather than leave it when the show was off air so that you could obviously carry on your life and soon forget about the program that you enjoyed, they would produce things like these colouring books, activity books, puzzle books, dot-to-dot books, and so on, all based around the television show. So it would keep it fresh in your mind, keep you as a fan. So it was almost like having your own activity video book, if you like. And certainly like this because there was a story that run all the way through the painting book. It's almost like having your own annual or your own storybook that you coloured in yourself and created the colours. So yes, they done very well, but obviously because of the fact that they were disposable item, they were made for you to colour, enjoy, and when you finish with them, you throw them away. So there's very few of them that really have survived the test of time as this one is, which is untouched inside. There is somewhere along the edges of the book where it's been on a shelf. It must have been on a shelf for quite some time before it was popped into the stock room of a comic and toy shop, which closed down just after COVID. A couple that had the shop right back from the 1960s. They run this shop all the way through until they were shut down. Obviously everything was closed for COVID, but when they come back, they just couldn't make things work for them, and they decided to retire and close the business down, which was fortunate for us because we were offered all the stock that was in the shop and in the stock room, and of course we went in and we bought all of their stock in both the shop and in the stock room. And for me, the most exciting stuff was in the stock room because it was stuff that went back 60 odd years. So there was some great stuff that we found, which we're trying to work our way through and get uploaded onto our website and to shoot videos for and upload them onto YouTube. Okay, so this particular item is untouched, doesn't come up very often. This particular one very rarely comes up on the platforms, and when it does, it's obviously been used at some point. Some of it's been coloured, there's writing inside the books. Very, very, very rarely do you ever find one like this with nothing in it and was untouched. As I say, there is some wear marks along the edges where it's been on a shelf, but other than that, it is very, very, very good condition. And this particular book is available to purchase on the My Such website, which you can get to quite simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Gerry Anderson items and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles. Come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and we are absolutely positive that this is something that you won't want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new products which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you are looking for, something old you've never been able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know, the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this very old, wonderful painting book with me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next video. So bye for now.